5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Deducter bringing you set 3 of Khan vs. KT Rolster. Khan already up 2-1, and this time both teams sending out excellent players. Khan sending out its star Stork as the red Protoss at the 11 o'clock position, and Stats sending out the KT sending out Stats. Actually, Stats is the red Protoss at the 11 o'clock position, apologize for that, and Stork is the yellow Protoss at the 7 o'clock position on this map, Circuit Breakers. So again, just to clarify, we have KT, Stats, red, 11 o'clock, Stork, Samsung, yellow, 7 o'clock, Circuit Breakers. So, excellent matchup. Stork, always a consistently solid player. Stats was actually quite instrumental in KT's triumph in the Pro League last year. Lately, he hasn't been quite up to his old task, old self. He's still playing fairly well. So this should be an exciting matchup. I would argue Stork is one of the greatest PvE players of all times, possibly the greatest. I might even argue that. I think he does possess a certain something, panache, if you would. Call it what you will. He knows how to play his mirror matchup. And even I think a player like Best or Bisu is just a tad bit worse than Stork. Maybe just tiny bit. Although, while Stork and Bisu, one of the most epic rivalries, they might be equal. But I don't think Best is quite as good as Stork, even though statistically Best might be ahead of Stork. Not 100% sure about that. Both players not going for anything crazy. Gateway similar into core, scouting each other. Let's see whether there's any sort of man or pylon craziness or any sort of probe sniping. It would be embarrassing if one of these programmers lost one of their own probes. And here we see clever little Stork there, just mining one of the minerals with his probe, doing his best to sort of screw as much as possible as he can with the mining. When you mine one of the mineral patches, no other probe can mine from there. Still, Stork trying his best to pick away at some of these probes here, not accomplishing much. Zella is out for Stats, and he's going to be able to drive away this probe from Stork, or at least force it to run around in circles and not really do much harassing. The probe will be able to survive for some time until the Dragoon comes out. Even then, with good micro, the probe can survive even against the Dragoon for maybe even up to half a minute. There, it looks like both players with their cybernetics core, that cybernetics core built there by Stats' position to stop the probe from being able to use the mineral lines to run circles there. Still, it's not going to bother Stork scouting much. Stork weaving that probe in and out of the mineral line there. Two Zealots chasing it. They're not even close to catching up with the probe. Maybe Stats is going to try to use some of his probes there to block this scout. It looks like Stats is doing the same thing. Both players quite even there with their scouting and their micro at the same time. The only difference is Stork seems to have managed to steal 8 minerals there, and Stork might be deciding to back off soon with the Dragoon out. Both players deciding to back off their probe. Stork, look at that timing, backing out just as the Dragoon pops out. He knows his timing's down to the second. Stats also backing up his probe, so both players just going to save the probe or put it somewhere such that they can sneak it back in at a later opportunity. So far, I was going to say no difference, but big difference here coming from Stats. He's going for an early break. He's put down 2 additional gateways. He needs to make sure Stork doesn't scout this. Very critical. If Stork scouts this, he's going to be in some trouble because Stork can defend against this. But if Stork does not see this and he's caught unprepared and tries to put down expansion, he's going to be in serious trouble. And Stork puts down the expansion. Oh, Stork, just as I say this, he puts down the expansion. Let's see how good Stork's defense is. Stork is looking a bit tired, actually, honestly. He usually looks happier than that. I don't know, Stork. I don't know. If Stats can effect a decisive early break, then this is going to be GG to Stork. However, Stork does have the advantage of the closer supply line. He's put down his Robo Bay. he'll almost certainly put down the Observatory first, unfortunately for him. I'm not sure whether Stork is going to be able to hold this, even with his incredible Dragoon micro. He needs more units is the thing. He's only getting his second gateway now. He's not even going to have a third gateway. I'm not liking Stork's chances. I think, really, he needs to rely on stats to screw up somehow. I think no matter how well Stork plays, he needs stats to screw up in some way. Or Stork could try to use the bridge as much as possible to his advantage. Now, there are 2 bridges leading to his natural. If he holds out along the bridge, it's going to be somewhat difficult to break through. Stats now, maybe he's going to put down his Robo Bay. Let's see whether Stork gets a Bay or not. If he gets a Bay, he'll be fine. Rather, Stats looking to put down his robotics facility, probably. Stats looks like he's attacking from 2 directions here. This is his chance. He's managed to push his Dragoons across from the bridge. I think Stork knows, with the number of Dragoons that Stats has out, that this is going to be bad. The Observatory goes down, but he has at least built a robotics bay, and with this ramp, I think Stork is going to be able to hold. I think Stats should not press his luck here. I don't think he's going to be able to go up the ramp. He can finish off this Nexus. It is critical that he finishes off this Nexus, and Stats will have taken a decisive lead in this game. So the Nexus is going to go down. Stork, though, is going to survive. Being up the ramp is difficult to break, and Stork, once he gets the Reaver out, is going to be safe from further attacks for now. Stats has responded by putting down his own Nexus, so trying to take the advantage. Stork trying to break out. I think it's not going to work. Is difficult to attack up the ramp, is as difficult to break down. Look at the nice little conclave by Stats. Stats playing very well this game, I have to say. Catching Stork there with wow, really a build order advantage here from Stats. However, Stork is by no means out of this game. He has the best Reaver control of any pro gamer, I think. Maybe Snow might have comparable Reaver control. If Stork can use his Observer here to scout out a weakness and send in a shuttle with Reaver, he can still cause serious havoc if Stats is not careful to defend. Stats cleverly with that probe there to scout to make sure if any shuttle is coming from the trying to sneak through the base there along the south. He can spot that with his probe and be ready for any sort of attack. As long as Stats can hold out for now and do his best to defend his expansion, he will basically he will win the game. As long as he doesn't get his economy screwed over, or if Stork might choose to use his Reaver to attack down the ramp, possibly. I don't think it's going to bother Stats too much. The Reaver is good at, I mean, these Dragoons are positioned in such a nice wide arc that I don't think the Reaver is going to be able to do too much. Even if it snipes away at 1 or 2 of these Dragoons, it's not going to bother Stats. And I think if the Reaver tries to get in range of these Dragoons, the other Dragoons can come in with a nice arc and just pick off that Reaver. Stats, excellent positioning of his units this game. So I really think at this point there's like a 90% probability of Stats winning. I don't think Stork is electing to go for any sort of harassment at this point. Stats with speed lots out, he might be trying to break up through that ramp. I'm not sure where that's wise at this point. I think he should hold out for a bit. Yeah, Stork getting 2 Reavers before his shuttle. I don't know whether he might be researching speed or not for his Reavers. Unfortunately, you can't tell by looking at the robotics bay there. Still, Stork does have an impressive sized army. He has his shuttle out now, no speed just yet. Looks like Stork is going to effect a breakout attack here. He's got his shuttle and the 2 Reavers critically in the corner there. Those 2 Reavers are not going to die to these Dragoons. They're too spread out. Reasonably good Reaver micro here from Stork, and looks like Stork has managed a effective, pretty good breakout. Stats is forced to pull back, I think. He managed to critically pick off the shuttle, so no offensive is going to be able to come in from Stork anytime soon. But Stork definitely takes that battle, using his 2 Reavers there, securing himself a bit of a temporary military advantage for now. Stork looks like he puts down his expansion. He's going to be significantly behind in economy. Stats will have no problem defending his base. He's got Reavers of his own. He's got Dragoons. He looks like he might be a bit worried about some sort of drop coming from Stork, and Stork has a second shuttle with Reavers out. Stats needs to get his own shuttle for his Reavers. I mean, without the shuttle, those Reavers are Scarab bait or Dragoon Disruptor shot, disruptor ball, whatever it's called, phaser, whatever the attack the Dragoons do. Name an attack rather. Looks like Stork is coming from attack from the north and attack from the south here, using his Reavers on the bridge in conjunction with a few Dragoons to absorb damage. And Stats, fortunately, with his shuttle out just in time, he needs to save that shuttle and not get it picked off. Reaver on Reaver battle here. One of the Reavers, Stork goes down. Stats using his choke point to maximum advantage here, and Stork is down to one Reaver. Unfortunately, if this Reaver can kill those Reavers, no. Both players microing their Reavers correctly. Looks like Stork leaving his Reaver vulnerable for a second. That Reaver getting picked off by Stats, and I fear with that defeat here, Stork is out of this game. He's forced to pull back, and he's losing several Dragoons here to retreat. Stork will be able to sort of prevent Stats from crossing these bridges for now. But critically, Stats has got 2 Reavers and a shuttle now, and Stork in desperate trouble here. He does not have enough units to launch any sort of offense. He did put up his second base, fortunately for him. Stats looks like he's ready to put down his third base. He's just going to overwhelm Stork with economy here, and I really don't know what Stork can do at this point. He doesn't have any options for attacking. It's going to take him some time to rebuild his Reaver shuttle force. Doesn't also look like he has speed. Stats might be pushing his advantage here. He knows he can attack. He's got the shuttle and the Reavers. Stork with another shuttle out. He probably only has 1 Reaver in there. Stats putting down 3 more gateways. I'm not sure whether Stats should try to go for the finishing blow now. I don't think he has enough to finish off Stork here. He would be wise to hold back for a bit, wait for his third bases to get up, and foresee his economy to fully mobilize. Looks like this shuttle coming, not gonna really be able to accomplish too much. Oh, actually getting a reasonable number of probes, 4 or 5 there. Not too shabby by Stats. Also stopping mining for a time, further securing his economic advantage. Stats needs to be a bit careful with his army there. Stork may be able to catch it and defeat it, possibly. Stats not seeming to send too many reinforcements there. Stork with an impressive looking army, equal to Stats, if not slightly greater. Stats does need to buy some time for his economy to pick up. Looks like a Dark Templar coming out here for Stats. Stork does not seem to have Observer there to deal with that Dark Templar. It looks like a battle going on in the middle of the field here. Dragoon on Dragoon action. That Dark Templar is going to be able to pick away at probes. This is what I mean. Stats needs to be careful. His army is getting defeated there, and this Dark Templar getting 3 kills, and Stork needs to deal with that Dark Templar. Dark Templar not really killing too much more. Still at 3 kills, 4 kills now, and Stork doesn't have an Observer there. Is Stork just not paying attention? 6 kills, 7 kills on that Dark Templar, and with this blow, Stork's economy is absolutely devastated at this point. Stork had some opportunity to use his units to attack and achieve some sort of victory on the field. He was close to doing so. Stats managed to pull his Dragoons out just in time. At this point, even though Stork has an impressive looking army, he can't afford to lose it. If he loses his army, it'll be GG at this point. He's not going to be able to rebuild it. Whereas Stats, he wants to trade armies, really. If he trades his units with Storks and both sides loses their armies, Stats is going to be fine. He's going to be able to rebuild his forces. Stork does have a larger army, it looks like. Stats with a tech advantage. He's got these Reavers and 2 Templar. Do they have Storm? Storm all over those Reavers! Killing one of the Reavers, damaging his shuttle highly. These 2 Reavers killing the second Reaver, and critically, Stats still has his Reavers up. But Stats does not seem to have enough Dragoons. Stork with an overwhelming force of Dragoons. I don't know how Stork managed to build up so many forces in the meantime, and Stats forced to pull back. Stats actually in some serious trouble here. Stork has 1 chance. Now is his chance to go on the offensive. If he can kill one of Stats' base, he can actually win this game. And Stork, I mean, he is just a genius in PvP. Gonna catch this Reaver off guard here, I think. Actually, these Zealots forcing Stork back. Stork knows he needs to affect some sort of damage now before Stats' economy really starts to tell here for him. He has the advantage. That Reaver going to get picked off. There are still some more Reavers for Stats in these shuttles. Critically for Stats, he's kept his Reaver alive seemingly forever. Stats doing his best to pick away at this shuttle here. The shuttle still surviving. That Reaver going down and the shuttle going down. GG coming from Stork. Not quite able to effect victory with his final attack. He was maybe 15 seconds away from being able to kill one of the bases, but Stats just able to build enough units in time to defend. Excellent play by Stats. Exciting.